So when you get back to the hangar, you've obviously just been through hell and back. Are you thinking, is that when you find out the helicopter got shot, the first helicopter got shot down when you return to the hangar?
No, so during the drive back, we had a couple of Delta Force guys that were in the cargo Humvee with Blackburn and Casey Joyce, and we made a turn. And at one of the turns, and one of my buddies that was in the lead vehicle got killed. And so I heard his name. We had in the vehicle, we had a radio, and you could hear, kind of in lulls and fire, you could hear different radio calls that were coming over. And the only thing that I heard was, Pilla's KIA. So I knew that, here's my best friend and friend from Ranger School and everything else. And the other guy who is my best friend is in that cargo Humvee dead. So for me, it was kind of a lot happening, and easily the worst part of, the combat experience in general was just insanely chaotic. I don't think that I stopped firing for too long of a period of time at any point during that drive. Was trying to help get heavy ammunition boxes up to our gunner that was up top. He had an automatic grenade launcher, and was just kind of nonstop on that thing. So it was pretty chaotic, and didn't really know everything that was going on. We got back to the hangar, and there were a group of guys that were in the vehicle convoy that didn't go out on the initial mission. And I think that they were doing some sort of convoy for, a special person, or linking these two guys up for a meeting, or picking up supplies. They were out doing something. And so all these guys are there at the hangar, and we come driving in with a bunch of casualties and injured people, and people that have been hit and needed medical attention, some people that have been killed, etc. And so kind of the great meltdown happens. And for me, it was a very angry reaction, kind of like, how dare they kill my friends? And, I was at the point again where I'm thinking, we just got back to the hangar, the mission is over. And everybody else is going to be coming back through the gate here any second, and whatever. And about that point, I'm in mid freak out mode, kicking stuff. And I've got buddies that weren't out on the initial mission, and they're coming up trying to calm me down, and I'm throwing my shit down on the ground, and not my finest moment by any means, but that was kind of what was happening. And in the middle of all that, oh, hey, there was a Black Hawk that just got shot down, so we need to go out and find this thing.
And
And go
sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. Well, I was gonna say, so when they tell you we got to go find this thing, is it immediate, like grab as much ammunition as you can carry and get back in the Humvees?
No, for me, and I think this was depicted in the movie to some degree. It wasn't necessarily accurate, but for me, I had a hard time with that. I had a hard time with signing up to, a suicide mission of sorts. I felt like there was a smarter way of doing things. And so it was almost like, you got to be kidding me. Like, we barely crept in here with everybody alive. And if we're going to go back out into that, there's kind of no way that we're not all going to die. So what can we do to mitigate, to fix our odds, or to, is there something we can do? Is there another unit that we can get involved? Are we pulling reinforcements? Like, all these questions that are going on in my mind. So no, initially it was like, you got to be crazy. I don't want to go back out there and do this. That's insane. Like, we're all just going to die, and nothing's going to get accomplished. So kind of very quickly to that was the second part, which is, okay, I'm grabbing all the ammo I can grab, and this is going to be an absolute kill fest when we go back out there.
I mean, that's I'm only 29 years old. It's mind-boggling to me that you were several years younger than me, and in obviously a situation surrounded by death. Did you think on the way back to the hangar, I'm not even getting out of this alive? Like, I'm not even making
Yeah,
it back to the hangar.
that's the thing, is there wasn't really time to even think about that. It went from, psychologically, when I analyze it, when I look back and kind of analyze it, at least what I remember feeling at the time, it went from confusion right? The whole, like, what are they shooting at us? 22s. It went from that to, okay, figuring it out very quickly. It probably took 15, 20 seconds for me to figure out that, hey, something is going on. I'm being engaged. Guys are trying to kill me, to engaging, returning fire. And as soon as I saw our guys get hurt, it was like anger, like you can't explain. Like, how dare you? I'm going to make you pay. So it changed, my psychological response changed very quickly, and probably in a matter of 2 3 minutes, from scared to death, we're all going to die here, figuring it out, confusion, chaos, figuring it out, to this over the top, hatred and anger for what was happening, and also for the situation that I was in, and I'm not going to say that I didn't join to go to combat. It was just not it was a peacetime military. So most of the people that were over there joined for college money, or they joined for something along those lines. They weren't, they weren't joining to go to combat. It maybe you got to go if there was some event.
When you get loaded back up, and now the guys who weren't out the first time, are they now coming with you this time around?
Yeah. So they're coming back out, and at some point, I think at the time we got the word that, hey, a Black Hawk's been shot down. I think a second Black Hawk got shot down, and also a third Black Hawk was hit and managed to limp itself to the port area, which was kind of a secure location, and it was able to control land, and everybody was okay. But so that had happened, and I think we ended up. There was another part of the vehicle package that was driving around through the city looking for one of the crash sites. And our job at that point was kind of link up with them, find the crash site, secure the crash site. That's like in a big picture. Hey, go do that.
And is that what you ended up doing?
Sure. So we get out of the gate, and we had our unit executive officer jumped in the vehicle with us. So, it was at that point, it was like, hey, bring everybody. We need every gun in the fight that we can get. So the unit, because we had a vacancy in my vehicle, I think somebody had been hurt. So we head back out, and it was kind of like, all right, guys, let's make sure we're doing the right thing. And, only shoot people with weapons, and blah, 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 blah. He was kind of going through his own mental checklist with us, just making sure that we're all, doing the right thing. And we got literally like maybe a kilometer from the front gate, and we're already being engaged again. So it just turned into, that's the scene in the movie. I believe, I don't know it to be true because I couldn't hear any of the radio communications, but I think was depicted in the movie, where the helicopter overhead was saying, hey, make a turn here. And we would drive past it, and then this constant correcting, and then just led us from one place to the next. And it was just a rolling gunfight.
When I'm